Welcome to your Week 2 recap. This is for the Phenoms Fantasy League. Phenoms Part Deux, Deux. Once again, I didn't name it. This channel is made for about 10 people. If you're listening to this, you still can. It's fine, but this channel is going to suck if you're not in the league, just so you know. But maybe you should listen. I'm one of the top fantasy players in the country. Everybody knows that. Everybody in my league. I'm going to try not to move too much because this thing is grainy, but I'm going to go over my predictions last week. So we'll go game one, mixing the sauce versus Tatanka Blanco. The projection was for Tatanka to win by 10. That was my projections to win by 10. There was a mild swing there. The final score was 112-60. Nowhere where it should have been, to be honest. It was one of the luckiest days of Double Trouble's life. I feel like him and his brother somehow combined their scores. It's the only way that he got it. But, when I'm starting to look at this matchup here, I know projections mean nothing, as I've said, unless, they're really a really big point swing and then something's up. Tatanka Blanco was projected 98 points. That's me. I only scored 60. You're wondering why? Well, Josh Allen didn't actually have a bad game, but he only had 11 points. Kyron Williams, he could have got a little more involved, but they got blown out. So running game's out typically in that kind of scenario. Tank Dell, as I've said previous, he's not the number 2 receiver. As a matter of fact, I'm debating on if he's even going to be on the team next week. Tank Dell sucks. He had 1 point, projected 8. Deontay Johnson, who's thrown him the ball last week, I believe it was Jake Luton. I believe he was on paper or the internet. He was the backup for Carolina. And I said, hey, I sent a text, to the group, and I said, hey, you know who the worst quarterback in the NFL is? And I said, Jake Luton, and you guys had never heard of him. Well, it's because it was the worst quarterback in the NFL's backup, and he was so bad that they wouldn't put him in the game. He's also so bad that they went and got 37-year-old middle-of-the-road Andy Dalton to play. So that's where we're at there. Listen, I had a couple injuries. The big ones, A.J. Brown was out, so I had to put Deontay Johnson in. Njoku was out, so I put Parkinson in. Evan Ingram was out, so there you go. Once again, Parkinson. Cowboys, Cowgirls, they blew it for everybody. Cowgirls apparently terrible team. They got your hopes up, and then week 2 got blasted by a JV team in New Orleans. I don't want to ramble too much. The other guy, Double Trouble, he only scored 112 points. It's not like it was a big day. It was like, above average for him, but he took some lesser points with Mahomes and then got some other points with Nico Collins, the actual number 1 receiver, the actual number 2 receiver in Houston, I believe, no matter what you say, because I still think it doesn't matter. Listen, I'm not going to argue. I know fantasy, you guys don't, so whatever you say, you're just arguing about stuff you don't know about. So anyway, that's it. Let's go DeMartiac arrest versus Fat Fingers Willie Nelson. I picked DeMartiac arrest by 11. But when I start to look at here, Fat Fingers Willie Nelson beat DeMartiac, so now I'm 0-2 on the week. I mean, it's almost suspect, really, but, I can't help it if Longback can't put a team together for 1 week to beat Fat Fingers. He's not even good at fantasy, but he did put together quite an impressive win. He was projected, Fat Fingers, Willie Nelson, his quarterback took 7 less. His Brees Hall was 1 more than he should have. He did get an injury to Pacheco. Imagine if Pacheco didn't get hurt. And you were projected DeMartiac to win, and his main guy, one of his best players, goes out, his starting running back. So it did help, however. That just doing the real quick math, DeMartiac probably wouldn't have lost the game if Alvin Kamara, 40-year-old Alvin Kamara didn't have the game of his life in fantasy. there may be that factor. So, you can't, those one-offs, an average week you get big, it's fine, but the one-offs, the Alvin Kamara who scored more points than he's going to score the next 3 weeks combined. I mean, I guess that always does it. So, I got a little leeway there, but I'm 0-2. Thanks, Longback. Wrecking Crew versus Nixon effect. Wrecking Crew by 11 was the projection there. And as I look at it, I wasn't far off. Wrecking Crew won by 14. Pretty good predictor of scores, as we know. Wrecking Crew's quarterback is actually Baker Mayfield. And the other guy, We have a name change. Downtown St. Brown changed the name. Who knows? There's probably a rumor about him on the internet, so he probably changed his name so nobody even know who he is. But yeah, downtown St. Brown, not good. And by the way, St. Brown is iffy for next week. Just looking at this matchup, I called it by 11. It's 14. It's right where it's at. BJ, triple BJ. He's okay at fantasy, but he's not really putting it together right now. He's 0-2, and Wrecking Crew's 2-0. And even though I am also 1-1 now, based on this week, I'm still a top player in fantasy, probably in the world. Not everybody's undefeated. Probably it's just a fluke, and it's not a big deal. I'm in whatever place right now, but I'm probably number one in your mom's heart. So there's that. Let's go down. But anyway, Wrecking Crew is just looking at it. Is he going to have any trouble? Yeah, Cooper Kupp's out this week, so that's going to hurt a little. But Michael Pittman Jr. and Devontae Adams you have on the bench, and Devontae Adams was projected 9, scored 17, so you never know. It may be his year again. They just have to throw him the ball. Now, crazy enough, Gardner Minshew, I checked this today. I'm going to blow it a little because this isn't for week 3. This is just week 2 projections. But, a little side note, the top 3 of the top passers, there's 4 total that blows my mind. But Brock Purdy's in there, but number 1 is Derek Carr. I believe number 2 is Gardner Minshew. Number 3 is Geno Smith. Number 4 is Purdy, and I think 5 is Josh Allen. Listen to those top 4. Now, Purdy threw 4,200 yards last year, so it's fine. Maybe he doesn't actually suck. It's just that he had arm surgery, so I didn't expect him to do anything. But now that he has his 2 main offensive weapons out, maybe a little suspect around there. But Gardner Minshew, man, if he manages to be somebody, that's the thing. That's a side note. Sorry, I don't want to get everybody. I don't want to help you out in fantasy. You're going to have to do it your own. My picks you have to pay for at LloydsPicks.com. $25 to set your lineup every week. It's a thing I'm starting. Metcalf versus or Pitts versus rebuilding season. Metcalf versus or Pitts. By 22, and that is actually a crazy thing by me because as I've said, Rusty's the worst player in the league, and I took him for one time in his life. Like one time I took Rusty. I believe he was going to win. He's playing the 3rd worst fantasy player in the league, and historically, it's a new year. Like I said, I'm 1-1, just like rebuilding season Mitchell is, but Rusty, always the worst player. I took him last week, and I took him big to win by 22, and he loses by 4. So some mild embarrassment there. You finally got some love, and then when you got it, that's how you treat the love. So I'd have to look at it next week, but knowing that you're not that good at fantasy, your team's not that good, that's bad. It's bad. He could go over this season. Mitchell really put some strong things together there. Let's see who was strong for Mitchell. Justin Jefferson scored 20, but hurt his leg. Maybe he's back next week. They expect him to play, but not sure. Rashee Rice scored a big touchdown there. J.K. Dobbins continues to be J.K. Dobbins pre-getting hurt because he's always been good, just right before he gets hurt. Next week, Metcalf or Pitts. Part of your reason, Kenneth Walker got hurt, so I guess there's that. I guess I'll give you that because I was about to ask why was Madison in, but I see it. It's fine. You had a little some misluck there, but you went and got Bucky Irving. you rostered Bucky Irving from Tampa Bay. I've never even heard of Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving, I know you got a questionable guy there with White, but Bucky Irving. Yeah, he's terrible, bro. I don't know what else to say. I don't want to bag him anymore. It's just kind of a sad deal. So let's move on because we should pray for Rusty and his fantasy knowledge. So Red Nuts versus bye week. I had bye week by 8, and guess what? Red Nuts won. That pretty much, if I'm just doing the math here, Wrecking Crew's the only team who did what they were supposed to do. Like I said, Mitchell, double trouble. Or not Mitchell, but Kane and double trouble. It's the biggest fantasy day of his life. He never should have won by that much. Everybody else shit the bed except for Wrecking Crew. Thanks, Wrecking Crew, for doing what you're supposed to do. But bye week, you did not win, which is weird. But I can't really bag on you guys because you got beat by the same guy who also the two ghosts of the league, you got beat. I don't know how else to say it, but looking at this, I mean, Red Nets does. I don't know. You both have really good rosters, actually. You both have actually amazing rosters. I'm not even sure how two guys who don't even talk out loud managed to even put teams like that together, but your rosters look really good. As a matter of fact, you two may be a force to be reckoned with if you don't play each other. But Red Nuts is 2-0. Bye week, you are 1-1. Man, you guys got good rosters. Really, that's it. No projection. This is just a recap show. So I don't know if you guys have any questions. I should be at Cody's mom's house and Kyle's mom's house, which is weird because it's gonna be strange for Kyle because he's gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, I can hear you in there talking to my mom." I'm like, yeah, it's not a big deal. Go to bed, Kyle. So, and that's really all I got. The week 3 show will be up tomorrow. Okay. Have the most good night ever.